evening and welcome to Hot News. We are live on Pan-African Television. We are also live on Facebook at Pan-African Television as well as YouTube at Pan-African Television. We also watched on about 48 African countries. You can join in the conversation by sending in your views, comments and contributions on our WhatsApp/text line displayed on the screen. We'll make a time and read all those out for you. Those of you watching us on Facebook can subscribe to our page. You can like our page and share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. Tonight on Hot News, we are discussing the current state of the country's economy, but you know that the issue of e-levy, I mean, sometime past has been a thing, in the public. Of course, it was passed. The minority in Parliament, walked out, and finally they are in court to quash the decision by, the majority to have implemented or approved, the e-levy. But as Ghanaians, braced themselves for the implementation of the policy, there have been some charges that would not be affected by the levy. There are some charges that will also be affected. I'll bring you the full list of that. However, Ghanaians are complaining about their situation as it stands today. If you meet the ordinary Ghanaian today, you speak to the ordinary Ghanaian, they tell you that the situation is unbearable. The economy is extremely hard. Dr. Baumia, Vice President of the Republic, thinks otherwise. In his lecture, at Kaswa, he painted, a gloomy picture of the economy. He sought to strike the balance, or to strike the comparisons between that of the National Democratic Congress and them. He was of the view that even with COVID and, the Russia-Ukraine war, they have still performed better than the erstwhile Mahama administration. Is that true? We'll be discussing some of those things. We'll be looking at the figures from 2014 to 2016, 2013, 2012, 14, 15, 16, as compared to 2017 till now, and see if indeed what the Vice President said, is true. But let me quickly take you through, some of the list of those transactions that will not attract the e-levy. And it says that as Ghanaians brace themselves for the electronic transfer levy, e-levy, to be implemented next month, the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, has outlined the transactions that will not be affected by the new tax policy. According to the authority, although the tax policy is to broaden the tax net, not all electronic transactions will come with a 1.5% tax rate. The head of compliance domestic tax revenue unit at the Ghana Revenue Authority, Victoria Akogo, listed them as follows. A cumulative transfer of 100 cedis made by the same person, a transfer between accounts owned by the same person, transfer for the payment of taxes, fees, and charges on the Ghana.government platform, electronic clearing of checks, specified merchant payments, that is payments to commercial establishments registered with the Ghana Revenue Authority for income tax and VAT purposes, transfers between principal, master agent, and agent's accounts. For the transfer that will be affected, a principal revenue officer and head of the project management unit said the authority, of the unit said the authority as a Kobna Amwa indicated that mobile money transfer done between accounts on the same electronic money issuer, mobile money transfer to a receiver on another electronic money user, interoperability transfer, transfer from a bank account to a mobile money account, from a mobile money account to another person's bank account, bank transfers on instant paid digital platform, since e-levy was proposed by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, when he was presenting the 2022 budget in November 2021. It has generated a lot of controversies in Parliament and amongst the populace. He explained that the innovative tax will broaden the government's revenue generation basket. However, economists and the minority in Parliament said the levy will only intensify the hardship of average Ghanaian. It goes on and on and on and on, and that's what I talked about earlier. That look, a lot of Ghanaians are complaining, not just the minority, not just the economists and some analysts, but I mean the ordinary Ghanaian, the cocoa seller, the watches seller, I mean the woman who sells tomatoes in the market, the charcoal seller, and all those people are feeling the heat. They are complaining, and of course they have spoken vehemently against the implementation of e-levy. They think that this will worsen their plight. This will rather add more hardship to their daily lives and all of that. However, I mean, government thinks that, look, that is the only way to make sure that we survive as a country. I've been joined in the studio by Felix Osafo-Marfo, who is a member of a New Patriotic Party communications team. He is also the Eastern Regional Secretary of the MPP, hopeful, deputy. Okay, well, he is the Deputy Eastern Regional Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, hopeful. I know that the people of the Eastern region would certainly vote for him. The place where we all come from, yeah, we are soliciting for votes, from our people in the Eastern region. I know that they will do that for you, definitely. Also in the studio is Comrade A.A. Gafaru. He is the Deputy, Northeast Regional Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress. My brother, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
It's been a while.
Just that, very well, I'm just only saying it because we can't continue complaining because of the hardship.
I see.
Obviously, I'm doing very well because I'm not lying on a hospital bed. So I'm doing very well.
Even in opposition, you are looking this good. What makes you think that things are hard?
As I will say,
I see. Right. I'll start with you on the current state of economy. You listened to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and he struck the comparison between his party and that of your government, the erstwhile John Mahama administration. He's of the view that they did better than, the NDC government, even in COVID. Would you agree to that?
Well, just as good evening to you, to my brother Felix, and to your cherished viewers tonight. Actually, from where I sit and from where I come from, that is a constituency with majority of its folks being or staying in the rural areas and not the urban areas, and then to a larger extent the region having the rural folks more than the urban folks. I think tonight I would not necessarily be delving into the technical economic figures that basically have nothing to do or would not be able to explain things deep to the understanding of my people and Ghanaians at large. So I'm not necessarily interested in those figures because those figures already my senior colleagues have been able to expose the dishonesty, the insincerity as far as those figures contradicting each other are concerned. Justice, sincerely, honestly, these people, President Akufo-Addo, Dr. Bawumia and the MPP are not interested in finding remedies to, this kind of digital hardship we are facing. And not just the fact that they are super incompetent. They are not ready to find. And this is evident when they first placed the 2022 budget before Parliament for approval, where they surreptitiously inserted a humongous 242 million Ghana cedis in the name of e-levy service charges. Not only that, this government, President Akufo-Addo, his incorrigible habit of now flying in his newfound beloved private jet, or do we say luxury jet, which he's flying at the rate of $18,000 an hour at the expense of Ghanaians. And not just that, this government unbridled and voracious appetite for borrowing still continues unabated. All this in the face of raft of taxes. All this at a time when Ghanaians are reeling under digital hardship. In any case, I say this is a self-inflicted hardship. This is obviously a self-inflicted hardship, and I'll speak about it. Because this is a government that we all know that Auditor General reports of irregularities, financial irregularities, in fact, money that we lost because of financial irregularities, increased from 2017 by 1,570% over the 2016 figure. And in all this, we lost how much? We lost a whopping 33 billion out of this. We lost money. Now that we are crying that there is no money and they are slapping us with raft of taxes, including the infamous e-levy, we could have gotten money from that side. This is also a government that, because of scandals, we've lost huge sums of money that could have plugged the loophole that we are facing now to help alleviate this hardship. This is a government that would blame everything on COVID-19, when indeed we all know they got more than 35 billion Ghana cedis as a result of COVID-19 grant.
How did you arrive at that figure?
In fact, I would enlist that. Let me just, these are preliminary touches.
Okay.
We know, as their own, a result of their own figures, COVID-19, how much did they, the COVID-19 that they are blaming for everything, even if a woman gets miscarriage, they blame COVID-19 for that. COVID-19 seems to even be, and I would say it was a profit-making venture for them, because it is outrageous to think that these people use 127 million Ghana cedis for nose masks, 254 million for hand sanitizers. We are talking about millions. Tissue paper. They use 197 million for tissue paper, and in fact, a money that they can't account or unexplained expenditure is to the tune of 600 million. Of course, I don't believe that they can already, I mean, they have what it takes, the competency, the capacity, or the ability to manage the economy. If people who cannot, who would have to form a committee, for the first time in our history, form a committee to ascertain as to why the city is depreciating. How on earth do you expect them to manage an economy? People who have to form committee with ministers, cabinet ministers in that committee, to ascertain or to find out how they would do or work out for reopening of basic and secondary institutions. Reopening, school reopening. How? If they are not able to, handle or manage educational sector, reopening, calendar, academic calendar, how would they be able to manage the economy? After all, the praises and then the praise singing of their economic messiahs, my uncle Dr. Baumia, and their economic management team, Osafo Mafo, Ken Oforo-Atta, and others. After all, that was a ruse. They were only, blowing or building castles in the air because they have been exposed. So I simply would want us to talk about simple bread and butter issue. At a time we all know food inflation has risen to 17%. And the bread and butter issue here is the ordinary Ghanaian is not able to acquire or to afford 1 square meal a day.
Really?
Yes. Yes. These people would not be able to know. Because, why? Why would they be able to know? If most of them, they are, in fact, let me say, immune to the hardship, why won't he giggle when I say a Ghanaian would not be able, the ordinary Ghanaian, would not be able to afford a single square meal a day because of the hardship? Let's not even talk about those who lost their jobs as a result of banking cleanup and others, and come and talk about the increment of commodities, provisions. Let's check this. The calipo that they drank to deceive people to win election. In 2016, it was 50 pesos. Today, how much is calipo? Calipo is selling at 150 pesos, and in some states, places, 2 Ghana cedis. In fact, our children that goes to schools, that we give them calipo a day, that we used to give them 50 pesos every day, you know, children, to actually encourage them to learn, to feel comfortable. We used to give them. Now we can't afford calipo for them. But they drank the calipo and we thought all will be well. Calipo would even come back or come down to 20 pesos.
Okay.
Today we can't buy. If we are talking about Milo, 400 gram Milo, it was how much? 7 cedis as at 2016. Today, people are selling it 15 cedis, and in some places 18 Ghana cedis. Pure water. Pure water. A bag of pure water. It was sold at 1 cedi 50 pesos. Today, people are selling it 6 cedis and then 7 cedis. Look at the magnitude of increment. Common, ordinary commodities. Check. Key soap, a bar of key soap, which was sold at 4 cedis. Today, people are selling it at 12 Ghana cedis. So, if I would mention, there are a litany of them. They should spare us with those economic jargons. Sit down and get proper and permanent remedy for us. Other institutions and bodies have given them a way as to where they would go and get us the solution. And they prefer IMF for them. And they rejected because they knew it is a ghost that is haunting them.
Before the NDC assumed office in 2008, right, what was the price of key soap? And how much was it when you were leaving office?
Well, he should be able to tell us. But I know, what I know is we weren't buying key soap at 3 Ghana cedis. We weren't buying a bag of key soap at 6 Ghana cedis. Whatever be the case that we are going to talk about, the increment, it shouldn't have increased more than 1 Ghana cedis. And I am telling them that to get permanent solutions, you see all this they are doing, increasing 15, you see, even government service and then charges increased by a whooping 15 Ghana cedi, 15%. That would see to the increment, an astronomical increment of all these government charges, DVLA, birth certificate, what and what and what, name them, all government charges, health insurance to acquire health insurance, all would increase by 15%. I said I didn't want to be tempted to go into these figures. Look, I said it is time they go. They should forget it. We will not tell them that the ghost they put, the ghost IMF they kept, you understand, there. They shouldn't be afraid. It won't harm them. And perhaps we won't take any reprisal. There's no retribution waiting for them. They should go. This is a permanent solution for them. And I'm not the one who is only saying it. Let me quote the country head of African research of Standard Bank. What did he say? He stated that categorically that IMF is the main hope for Ghana to attain fiscal stability. They have, international bodies have even lost hope in how they are managing the economy. And they have no flicker of hope that we can revive the economy with this kind of mere due touches that they are doing. It's more or less like they are using, as our local people will say, if you use a dew to build a house, it is like snow. Even, let me say, I'm not able to actually quote or paraphrase it well, but a little amount of even drizzle will pull it down. A little amount of drizzle will pull it down. So the touches that they are doing, we are doing this, it was this comparing. They should leave it and live to their expectation, because now they have 3 oil fields, which is producing more than 200,000 barrel for them daily. They have several buffers, economic buffers that we kept for them. Look, the stabilization fund is there for them. The sinking fund is there for them. Get fund is there for them. The Exim Bank is there for them. We created a lot of economic buffers so that it will create a good picture, a good foundation. And of course, indeed, it created a good foundation because there was a projection in 2016 by the IMF and other international bodies that our economy will grow more than 8% in 2017, and indeed it did grow by that percent. It is as a result of the foundation we laid for them. So, therefore, they should make good use of those economic buffers and stop mortgaging them for petty loans that, after all, they will squander and come and celebrate it with Kenke Party in finance ministry. They should stop that kind of thing and hold the bull by the horn and know that Ghanaians are suffering. Indeed, they are not suffering as I stated. They are immune to all this kind of hardship because their allowances are intact. They are increasing their this Article 71 by whooping 50% increment in salaries, where the ordinary worker is taking a paltry 4% increment and 7% increment consecutively from 2020 to 2021 or 2021 to 2022. So they are not feeling the heat. But we are telling them that they should go to the Malamata market. They should go to the Tamal Abu Abu market. They should go to the Langbisi market, the Walwali market, and see people are suffering. If for nothing at all, they should know that those same people, including their MPP members, they were those with their efficacious power who brought them to government.
Right.
And they should feel empathy. We don't want them to sympathize with us anymore. They should empathize with us. They should empathize with their grassroots and make sure that they stabilize the economy and spare us these economic jargons.
Very well. Earlier you stated that the government benefited from COVID-19 and that they had received some, is it 32 or
35 billion over.
And I asked a question of how you have arrived at that figure, because in one breath you were calling on government to come and account for the monies they have received in terms of COVID. In another breath, you are coming out with figures. If you have the figures, why then are you calling on government to come and account?
Look at the figures, some of the figures. You know very well that these figures are real because we told them that they were real, and independent body, including your sister station, came out with those figures. And of course, when they told us this kind of expenditure, nose marks of spending in nose marks and unaccounted or unexplained expenditure of about over 600 million, and wanted to now do a bipartisan probe into the issue. They rejected it and they threw it out of parliament because of their numbers. Look at what this Joy News stated. They are busy, Joy News Business, your sister station. IMF gave them of 5.85 billion Ghana cedis. World Bank gave them 2.58 billion. European Union gave them 504 million Ghana cedis. African Development Bank gave them a whopping 405.65 million Ghana cedis. Korea gave them 349 million Ghana cedis. Germany gave them 280.99 million Ghana cedis. Government of Ghana, that's the Bank of Ghana, they went and then picked 10 billion Ghana cedis. And then GOG Contingency Fund, which of course the Stabilization Fund established by SWA President Mahama, they went and picked 1.2 billion Ghana cedis. Of course, I told you I didn't want to delve into this. It is about bread and butter issue. There are instances that you'll be there and a colleague who is a government worker will call you and tell you that Gafaro. You say, yes, please, I want you to do me a favor. Look, a favor. You asked, what is that favor? Because you are ready with alacrity to help in giving or ushering favor to your brother. Then he says, please, I'm locked somewhere. I need 20 Ghana cedis. 20 Ghana cedis as a favor. A government worker who receives perhaps not less than 2,000 Ghana cedis, 3,000 Ghana cedis. This is what we are talking about. Because you take the money, right. Inflation is high, and then it's more or less like the money is volatile. It sublimes into the thin air. This is what we are talking about. So we are saying, yes, we know they are not feeling it. They are immune to the hardship. But they should empathize with the ordinary Ghanaian. Even if they will not look at our face, they think that it's NDC that is over crying or crying more than the brief. Their own grassroots, they are even sometimes complaining more. Complaining more. Their own grassroots MPP members. Because they themselves are also paying that kind of astronomical increment of fuel prices.
I'll come back.
They are facing it, and the e-levy is now there. This is what the infamous e-levy is now waiting for them to pay. Mr. Felix will be paying it alongside with me.
I'll come back.
Am I right? And are you happy?
I'll come back to you.
Are you happy?
You don't have to engage him. I'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Because you're still watching Hot News right here on Pan-African Television with me, Justice Appear. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. Now, let me move to Felix. Felix, how do you convince the ordinary Ghanaian who is bearing the brunt of decisions made by government, that you have done better than the erstwhile administration and that the economy is doing better, when especially the indicators are not going in your favor? If you look at the inflation rate, it's hovering around 16-17%. We are talking about the exchange rate, which is of course still on the high. Fuel prices are high. Of course, the inflation has affected every commodity on the market. Today, the sizes of even kinky has actually shrinked to a very smaller size, with the prices going up and all of that. How would anybody convince the ordinary Ghanaian that your government has done better?
Yes, Justice, good evening to yourself and to my good brother. And then good evening to the NPP fraternity, especially those in the eastern region, and more especially those in the New Japan North constituency. Right. Justice, you know that that is where I come from. You know that my families are New Japan South. Yes, New Japan South.
And to my own brother, Michael Otri Berfi.
Yes,
we are here to do it once again. We'll retain you, don't worry. You can go ahead.
Yeah, so good evening to everybody from the eastern region. Justice, you see, when my brother started talking, at a point I was so much confused and astonished as to where and how his preparation was conducted.
What were your confusions?
Yes, so I'll come back to some of the issues that he pointed out here, because I was heavily confused. Look, Justice, I will not go far, just to touch on where he landed, that the government of Korea during the COVID era gave Ghana money. It's on record that what the government of Korea did for Ghana was to give us some medical supplies, nose mask, and those medical supplies, so that the government of Korea did not give Ghana any money. So if the NDC, they sit in their rooms and conjecture their own figures and put figures out there.
It's not our figures.
And put figures out there, thinking that Ghanaians will barge into their propaganda. It is not going to work. So it means that whatever my brother was saying is palpable falsehood. Now, Justice, we need to admit, and clearly I was at the TESCON orientation and training. And let me use this opportunity by mentioning TESCON orientation to say a big thank you to our youth organizer, national youth organizer, Nana B, for that very, very well organized program. Seriously, I was there, I witnessed it myself, And as a former TESCON president, Justice, you know, I took over from Nana B.
I know, right?
Here in West,
I know, yeah.
He handed over to me.
Yes, of course.
So when we meet, TESCON is on our hearts because we know what TESCON really has done for the party and can do for the party, especially as we're moving towards the 2024 general election. So, Nana B, bravo. Thank you so much for keeping TESCON together and then making sure, energizing us, making sure that election 2024, TESCON will be a key pillar within the elections. I witnessed and heard everything that Dr. Bawumia said.
Okay.
And look, in the speech of Dr. Bawumia, for me, as a young man sitting there, one thing that I drawn from his speech was hope. Yes, he admitted that things are hard. He admitted. And I don't think my brother has read the about 126-page documents of Dr. Bawumia. I don't think he has read it. If he has, then he would really appreciate himself with some of the facts and figures and the reality on the ground that Dr. Bawumia really mentioned to Ghanaians. It is on record that Ghana has faced, and the world has really faced, a certain pandemic. It is not Ghana alone. Proud to the pandemic in 2020, Justice, you see that the economic indicators of Ghana was so much on a good pedestal. The economic indicators, proud to the COVID. You know, when we took office in 2017, it was in September 2017. When we took office in January, it was in September that the president announced the implementation of free SHS. That is focused and vision presidents. And then we also went into the agri sector and said, no, let us try to develop the agri sector by doing what we call planting for food and jobs. That is prior to 2020 when pandemic hit. And then we also moved to the health sector and said, let's buy ambulances for all constituencies. When you come to my constituency, in the New Jabin North constituency, and just as when you go to where you hail from, in the New Jabin South constituency, and I go to the central hospital and I go to other hospitals, I see the ambulance sitting there helping people. And prior to the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, we also had, on the health sector, we had drones also supplying blood and so on to other hospitals. So I can give you litany of things that were happening within this country. It clearly gives you the picture that the government was really working until, unfortunately, nobody expected it. That is why Dr. Bawumia admitted, that is why the government has admitted, yes, Ghana is going into a hard times. Unfortunately, there was an invasion of COVID, and I say the two evasions, that's what I say, the two evasion of COVID. COVID came in, nobody expected it. It really battered the whole economic fundamentals of Ghana, and not Ghana alone. You go to Nigeria, you go to even United States of America, you go to UK, all the strong economies in the world have all suffered from the hands of COVID. This is not Ghana alone. So if my brother sits here today and paints the picture as if nothing has happened, it is the normal thing that we are doing, it is the normal world that we are having, and we have mismanaged the economy, then it presupposes to me that he is not doing a proper analytical skills over here. Because we have faced a pandemic. And then on top of the pandemic, we have also faced this Russian-Ukraine war. He will not, my brother will not admit that the Russian-Ukrainian war is also a contributing factor to the economic misfortunes that we are having. And I'll prove to him the reason why is also a contributing factor. Justice, the fact remains, and it's not coming from me, the fact remains that if today the cost or the cost of iron rod is high, the cost of roofing sheets, some roofing sheets are high. If today the cost of wheat, the cost of flour are high on the market, then it tells you that the statistics has proved that about 30% of flour, about 50% of flour that we use in this country is imported from Russia. And then it tells you that about 60% of steel and iron rods that we use in this country is imported from from Ukraine. So if these two countries that help Ghana, the economy of Ghana and other economies in the world, are now fighting in a war, and productions have ceased out there, then definitely there will be a rippling effect on this country. So it means that the Russian-Ukrainian war has really done bad to us than good. Justice, when COVID hits, and as I told you, the country and the economy was on a good footing. But I am telling you that we have stated to Ghanaians that yes, we are facing difficult challenges, but it's about time that we all contribute to the development of this country. And that is why we have brought in the e-levy. Look, Justice, I'm going to share something with you. Do you know that the expenditure on, and Dr. Baumia said it rightly, that the expenditure on some three key elements, that is the expenditure that we have secured on COVID, the expenditure that Ghanaians have suffered on excess capacity charges, and the expenditure that we have suffered on the cleanup of the banking sector. Justice, I tell you on record that just three elements, the expenditures that we have suffered on is about 50 million. But Justice, as we speak here, the expenditures that we have on planting for food and jobs, free SHS, Zongo Development Fund, and all the numerous things that we've been doing in this country, okay, including the digital address system and national identification system, all the expenditure is about 15 million. Justice, so if you want to do a proper analysis, it tells you that the three expenditures, the three item expenditures, COVID, excess capacity charges, and then on the, what do you call it, the banking cleanup, has really cost Ghanaians a lot. And it took about 50 million. So Justice, it is not, the expenditure is not on the free SHS, it's not on the planting for food and jobs, it is also on COVID situation that we've encountered.
Is this not self-inflicted? Because if you look at the arguments espoused by some well-meaning Ghanaians, including experts, they say that, you know, the monies you have used in cleaning up the banking sector, you would have needed less to, you know, improve the sector rather than cleaning and collapsing some of the banks. Why would you rather prefer using that much money to collapse banks?
Justice,
in a way of cleaning the sector. Yes,
as I sit here, we have some of the directors, and of course, as a law student, as I know, you as a law student, you appreciate yourself that directors bear liabilities for whatever actions and inactions that they take in the company. And as we sit here, you know that some directors are facing the law.
I know.
Justice, about 4.6 million depositors were saved from this banking cleanup exercise. 4.6 million. Justice, imagine that even half of these 4.6 million depositors have lost their monies to this sinking banking sector. Imagine how much Ghana would have, and imagine what really would have done to Ghanaians.
But the issue is that you had the opportunity to save these banks, which would have cost the country lesser than how much you have, you know, actually invested in collapsing them.
Justice,
that has been the bone of
there were
contention.
Some of the banks, and I don't want to mention them because some of the cases are in court. There were some of the banks that the Bank of Ghana gave them some amount of money when they were having issues with their capitalization to reinvest in their business, but still they misuse the money. Justice, do we continue to give the banks money whilst they are still misusing it? It means that they are not doing proper leadership over there. So there's the need for us to clean up the entire banking system. And as we speak here, between you and I, where our small monies lie now, we are safe. Because all the banks that we have and the microfinance institutions that we have in this country are well-to-do and are well established. So, Justice, the point that we are making substantively is that, yes, Ghana really has chalked so much success, but for COVID, but for Russian-Ukrainian war, And we are saying that this is not going to be the talk of town, you know. We are saying that we are doing everything possible to making sure that we turn around the economy of Ghana. And that is what we are doing. And now, instead of the opposition party helping government in their own alternative way as to how we can develop this country, they are looking at the next elections. It means that there are people who we cannot entrust into their hands the governance of this country. And I find it so laughable when the alternative, who is willing and yelling to be a leader again, to be the president again, the alternative, who has sat on the presidency, on that seat before, really did nothing but did whole lot of corrupt attitude. And the alternative that I'm talking about is his former president Mahama. What at all does he have again to contribute to the development of Ghana? So the alternative is bad to the extent that it has nothing for us. It is about time that the NDC becomes patriotic enough. My brother, be patriotic enough. It is about time that you contribute your analytical skills, your intelligence. You contribute everything that you have to the development of this country. This is the time that we can call you patriotic. If you're able to, yes, analyze the issues and say that, yes, we have faced serious problems and that the economy of Ghana is being handled well, but what can I also provide in alternative to help manage the economy? This is not the time for the NDC to be looking at the next elections and to be saying all sort of propagandist things to making sure that, well, they win elections. Ghanaians, even though, yes, things are hard and they are suffering it, but the Ghanaians are so much awake to the reality on the ground that we did not inflict this thing on ourselves. We did not go to China to bring COVID. We did not say to Russian and Ukrainian people to fight. We were having a very good economic fundamentals until the invasion of all these things.
If you say we had very good economic fundamentals, what were the pointers? What were the figures at the time?
Justice.
Before COVID.
You see, before COVID, from 2013 to 2016, fiscal deficit stood at 7%. 2013 to 2016. So, in effect, before the NDC left government, fiscal deficit was 7%. Now, from 2017 to 2019, before COVID hits, we have been able to reduce fiscal deficit to 4.5%. You understand? So that was the fundamental. And then inflation, in 2016, inflation was 17.5%, 2016. And then in 2020, before COVID, inflation was 7.2%, 2020, so when COVID hits. Now inflation is 10%.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, Justice.
Okay,
Justice.
Since
Justice.
when did you check?
Justice. So let me, when I finish, then you can. When I finish, I'll prove to you right now.
Right.
So it means that yes, COVID has really contributed to this inflationary measures. COVID has really contributed to it, and it means that the Russian-Ukrainian war, as I pointed out to my brother and to your good self, has really contributed to this inflationary figure. So it means that, Justice, the government is willing. The government is ready. The government is ever ready to listen to advice from all quarters, including even the NDC. But then, we are not getting forth from the NDC because they are looking at the next election. Because they are so much short-sighted to the extent that they are not looking at how Ghanaians will liberate themselves from this economic hardship. So, Justice, we will continue to deliver. We will continue to making sure that we give to Ghanaians the best governance that they have ever thought of. We are not going to budge to the propaganda machinery of the NDC. And we implore Ghanaians that it is true that the economy is hard. It is true that we are all suffering. It is true that prices of goods and services have gone up. That is a fact. We all admit that. But then the reality on the ground was that we did not inflict such things on ourselves. We just met COVID, and we just met this war. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has assured us that he will make sure that he puts this economy on the right pedestal. Let us have hope that the economy will bounce back, that all these indicators that I've mentioned to you that I don't want to mention all because it does not reflect obviously in your pocket, all of these will bounce back. Let us be hopeful that now the prices of fuel that we sell on the market is high, and obviously because of some of these COVID restrictions and so on and so forth, because in the international market prices are going up. Even if you take all the taxes of government on fuel computation, it's about 2 cedis. Even if you take all the taxes of government, it's about 2 cedis. So it means that the real deal is about international market. It means that we are really suffering. So just to touch on the e-levy, Justice, it is important that we contribute to the development of Ghana. And one major means that we can contribute as Ghanaian, me, as I sit here as a young man, is by payment of taxes.
Okay.
2 major means by which government of any country, any state, can generate income or revenue is by borrowing and by the generation of taxes. We are saying that, yes, borrowing is too much. Now let us bring something, a new innovative measure that will help us generate revenue. And we are saying that let's pay tax. How are you going to pay tax? We're going to pay tax by the introduction of e-levy. That as you are transacting your business electronically, you pay something small for the development of this country. It presupposes that the government is willing and ready to making sure that the economy of Ghana bounces back. And I am very hopeful as a young man that this country is being led by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I'm extremely hopeful because if not for the fact that the NPP is in government, and I was thinking, should it be the NDC in government by now, what would have happened to this country? Should it be the NDC in government? Especially should it be under the leadership of His Excellency former President Mahama? What would have happened to this country? Because even in the absence of anything, no COVID, no Ukrainian war, no Russian war, they still couldn't manage their country, this economy. They still couldn't manage this economy. What they did was corruption over corruption over corruption over corruption. Even in the presence of this COVID, we are still handling the economy very well, even though things are quite expensive on the market. But I assure Ghanaians that this will not last for long. I assure Ghanaians that definitely prices will come down as government is working very hard to making sure that the economy is bounced back. And I'm very happy that government is pumping some huge amount of money into the economy so that it will drop or decline the rate at which inflation is also going. These are all measures that the country or the president or the economic management team is taking to making sure that the country comes back to its normal footing.
Thank you so much, Felix, for your submission. Now, Gafara, you would want to respond to some of the things, said in the submission of Felix.
Justice, I had expected or anticipated you to put it before him, or expected you to ask or request for him to bring alternative figures upon disputing the figures I placed before you. I said I wasn't tempted and I wasn't interested in delving into the technical issues of figures. He made mention that Korea never give us money and it is coming from the decks or headquarters of NDC. However, let me give it to you. This is Joy News, and I'm saying
to tweet whatever he said.
He's absolutely wrong.
He said Korea gave us,
PPEs.
I mean, in terms of...
And I'm saying even the other countries, they gave us PPEs, and yet European countries, they gave us PPEs, yet they gave us money.
Okay.
So I'm saying he should be disputing, I'm coming. He should be disputing the figures of Joy News.
Okay.
Not NDC. In any case, it's not from NDC. He should check it. join us online, he will still get it. However, I expected him to tell us that this is the amount of money we took in all. He wasn't able to tell us. Again, he wasn't able to tell us that, or the reason why dear members of parliament.
In other words, are you saying that the National Democratic Congress now believes in the figures churned out by the
Joy News,
by Joy News, and the party now believes in that? Is that what you're saying?
Why we are saying? In fact, this is not. This is from Joy News, and they only corroborated the figures from international donors who gave the money out. You understand?
So I'm asking, you are making your argument based on that particular,
because that is very close. It is at his doorstep.
And I'm saying that. Do you believe in those
I believe in
figures?
them. Absolutely.
And is that the position of the National Democratic
Absolutely.
Congress? Okay.
Absolutely. And let me say something. I was even expecting him to tell us the reason why dear MPs who are desperate to push down or shove down, e-levy down our troops in parliament, why they refuse the bipartisan probe into the COVID outrageous expenditure. He didn't tell us that. In any case, we've always told them that Ghana, I said I didn't want to delve into these figures. Ghana is not an island, and we are not in isolation. Indeed, our COVID, the ravages of COVID and the negative impact of COVID was even far too less in Ghana as compared to some of our neighbors. And let me tell you something. Look, with regards to growth during COVID, look at the growth in other neighboring countries. Cote d'Ivoire grew by 2%, Benin grew by 3.58%, Senegal 1.5%, Guinea 7%, Ghana we grew in COVID 0.4%. Check the budget deficit. Our budget deficit, Cote d'Ivoire was having, they recorded 5.5%, Senegal 6.3%, Benin 4.7%, Burkina Faso 5.6%, Guinea 2.8%, Ghana a whopping 15.7% that we had budget deficit, indicating what? Irregularities, indicating outrageous and careless expenditure that led, and indeed that's why we were in, no wonder we were in election year. This is the cause and the bane to our current problem. This is the bane to our current problem. So he should be telling us what our figures currently as we speak. Most of those neighboring countries, they are doing, in fact, their debt to GDP is less than 60%. We are doing a whopping 83%. Is it not 80.1% or 81%? That is their figures. But international bodies, Fitch and others, it was the 83% they used to downgrade us.
Yes, UK is 103%.
I'm not talking about UK. I didn't even mention UK.
It's 91%.
Listen. I've just mentioned our nearby. You are mentioning Egypt with a. Listen, I am comparing us with our.
I'll give you the opportunity to respond.
What I am doing, they fail to understand. They listen, but they don't understand in some instances because they don't want to understand. Not that they don't understand. I am saying I'm comparing us, this country, with our peers, especially within the sub-Saharan West African countries. These are the countries, our peers. Those middle income countries, not developed countries like Egypt. I'm not comparing us with UK. Their economy is so different. So these are the things I'm talking about. And 83% are the figures that they used to reduce us, to downgrade us, Fitch and then Moody's. So let's check something. With regards to the figures, why I said I didn't want, because already Dr. Bawumia and his boss, they are even contradicting themselves with regards to how much was spent in COVID. Because that means they are hiding something. President Akufo-Addo made mention that we spent 17 billion Ghana cedis during COVID. Dr. Bawumia in his most recent lecture that he was quick out to speak to Ghanaians, he stated that 8 billion, who is now speaking the truth. So, NDC, we don't need to run into this kind of argument.
Right.
And again, let me come.
Let's be.
If we are talking about excess capacity, from 2017 till now, they could have exported it.
Right.
Right? And rake in revenue to Ghana. And let me get into this banking crisis. Just give me a few minutes.
The banking crisis. Just 1 minute to deal with that. Because
with regards to the banking crisis.
Yeah.
Look, it is unfortunate. You see, because they are having job, and in some instances, even some of their jobless people, they still have ways of getting money. They don't empathize with the people who lost their jobs. Look at the number of microfinances that were collapsed. More than 200 microfinances. Getting closer to 20 plus 17, getting to 20 banks collapse. Remember, as they are collapsing alongside with workers who were there, who had family to feed. This is what you should be talking about. And of course, you pointed to him that we could have used less amount of money to give them support them rather than collapsing it. If nothing at all for those Ghanaian workers that they they employed. And finally, corruption. He started. You see, you don't go. This is a trap. These are landfall that you are stepping into.
Can you step down?
With corruption, it is international body. With regards to corruption perception index, the worst of President Mahama is your best. 43. Corruption perception index. That's your best. That's true.
Felix,
that's
true.
Absolutely true. Everybody know. Even your bosses.
No, I'll come to you. But that is. I just want to clear this. That is true. If you look at the corruption perception index, the worst of former President John Dramani
it's your best, and it's 43. In fact, we are not saying it's not from NDC headquarters. It is from international bodies. You are having the record of always against them that they are wrong. This one you can say they are wrong, but not me. And it is 43. That's your best. And of course, when it comes to shielding corrupt appointees, it's very clear. And the president himself was found in the Ameri deal, who signed a whopping $800 million plus, and our parliamentarians cut them pants down, and they dropped that deal.
Right.
Your president, he signed, assenting with a tacit approval to that kind of filthy and dirty and smelly, stinking corruption.
I see.
So finally, you see, with COVID, it is sickening to see upon them squandering the amount of money. They still slap on us COVID tax. They still slap on us border tax, of which many of my area, Naleo Gabaga constituency, most of them, we don't have government giving provision of water, town water system. Yet we are paying the COVID tax.
Thank you.
Bunkpurugu, they don't have that. Walwale, they don't have town water system. They are paying COVID tax. You should be ashamed that you are slapping them for what they never benefited
for submission. Felix, take us on.
But for the court of Ghana, former President Mahama would have given 60% of bauxite deposits to his brother. Please, come on, please. Senior, but for the court of Ghana, the entire bauxite deposits in this whole country would have given to one person, his brother. What is more corrupt than this? You see, what I'm saying is that we have faced a reality, and the reality is COVID. You did not face any reality.
But it looks like you are attributing everything to COVID.
I'm saying that you did not face any reality. But you were not able to bring even one policy intervention. Even one. Just mention one. They were not able to bring.
Let me mention.
Then I'm saying to you, even in the face of COVID, for the first time, and I'm going to read to you, for the first time in our history, we have successfully issued a digital ID system. For the first time, we have done the digital property address system. For the first time, we have done the mobile money interoperability. Yes. For the first time, we have done the national ID card system. For the first time, over 80% of adults in Ghana have tax identification numbers. For the first time, Ghana is using drones to deliver critical medicines. For the first time, Ghana is implementing one district, one factory. Hello, senior, please get something into your pocket so that when you go, you distribute the information to others. For the first time, Ghana is having paperless clearing of goods, and for the first time, Ghana is having passport acquisition, which is on. For the first time, Ghana is having a digitized driver's license. For the first time, Ghana is having a law. So it means that in the face of all this pandemic that we are facing, look at what we are doing. And for the first time, Ghana has implemented free SHS. Just give me one.
Right.
You came into this. Yes, you came into governance, and all that you're able to do is to give contracts, shoddy contracts, pass at the back, and go and take your cuts. You came into this government, and all that you're able to do is property grabbing.
Bro,
to the extent, please, to the extent that you gave 60% bauxite deposit to your brother.
All right, thank you so much.
All that I'm saying is that it is true that the economy, and I'm saying that we are not going to be like the ostriches. Okay. We are not going to be like them. You tell them. Okay. And we are saying that we are going to turn this economy.
You are peddling and truth.
Oh, please.
Felix, step down so that...
My brother is disturbing. I gave you the time and you just messed up. So all that I'm saying is that we expect that a very productive opposition party should bring alternative. Okay. They are just there making noise.
All right. Thank you so much, Felix.
They are just there making noise.
I'm so grateful for your time. Thank you so much, Gafaro, for coming. Let me say a very good evening to my brother, my big brother, Samir Oku. Yesterday was your birthday.
Yes.
Happy belated birthday to you,
happy
my
birthday.
Big brother, Samir Oku. Once again, good evening to you. Happy belated birthday. Samir Oku is the executive director or chief executive or officer for Ghana National Lottery Authority. Good evening to you, my big brother. Also to Michael Ochribefi, another big brother. Let me say a very good evening to Member of Parliament for Naregu Gambaga constituency, Honorable Alhaji Baba Sidu Isifu, and to Member of Parliament for...
He sent it to market.
It's our time will allow us on the program. Make a time with us same time tomorrow. My name is Justice Apia and the show has been Hot News. Goodbye.